Listen, 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 listen. Why they always got money for everyone else? Everyone else they got a handout for. Everybody come around begging with their handout, and all of a sudden there is a payment. Well, what you talking about? I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna tell you what I'm talking about. Fair use, poop tube. Listen, I'm not even. Don't listen to me. Hear it right out of spoiled male's mouth himself. This is what you get when you vote blue, no matter who. I'm not telling you to vote red or blue. It just doesn't matter. I ain't telling you what gang to be in, Republican, or to be a Democrat. I'm just telling you they're two wings of the same bird. Listen, listen, listen.
No matter where you come from, we believe in those words. Give us your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be breathe free. This is a place you can breathe free. And my message to you is, the majority of Minnesotans and Americans stand on your side. They stand on the side that immigration is the core of who we are and that human decency. So as we go on this long road to recovery, it's going to be hard for many of you to get back the trust, to be able to go out again without fear you're going to be asked for your papers, or to be singled out because of how you look. We in here in Minnesota have always made that clear, and I will attest, that's why.
First of all, in Minnesota, they had code 4. Look this stuff up. They have horses at the end of the club where the black people are. Why we keep talking about immigrants and did you know that there used to be a law in Minnesota that if you didn't have your ID with you that they could take you down to jail, not to arrest you, right? Just to fingerprint you so they can get an identification on you, right? They had the jump out boys that was jumping out and jumping out on corners, beating down folk, kidnapping them, throwing pillowcases on their heads. This is in Minnesota. You had Cagney and Lacey. There was another set. Robo. I can't remember all their names. Y'all know some of these names if you're in Minnesota and you're watching this program. Some of these police that we knew and we had nicknamed for that were demonic destroyers, right? You couldn't even drive in the car more than 2 deep. Right? If you had 3 or 4, you was in trouble and you was going to get pulled over. Did you know that you'll get pulled over if you don't have that little light that's on your license plate? If one of them is out, they'll pull you over. Did you know that? Did you know if you have where they sold you the car at, the little frame that comes on your license plate, if that's covering up anything, they'll pull you over for that probable cause, right? Just to run you through. So while you're talking about that spoiled male boy, I don't want to hear that. I didn't want to interrupt this bum, but I couldn't let him just sit there and act like, oh, Minnesota's this great humdinger of a place, and Minnesota Nice is in full effect, and come on here, and everybody's safe, and it's all hunky-dory, and we all get along, and we're smoking on a peace pipe, and we're holding hands, and we're singing Kumbaya. It's not true.
We were the target of this because we are a successful multiracial, multicultural state that has one of the highest standards of living, that values our people and understands the people standing behind us are making that happen. So it's going to be a long road, but I think you saw, and I'll say it again, Minnesotans are decent, caring, loving neighbors, and they're also some of the toughest damn people you'll ever find, and we're in this as long as it takes.
And all that was to give to tell,
no matter where you come,
get him all that to come to say, we about to get some money, right? He proposed $10 million in relief package for small businesses impacted by this federal immigration enforcement operation that they was calling Operation Metro Surge. But let's call it what it is. It's repair money, right? 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 This is this great plan that he announced today. If y'all don't know what today is, it's February 12th, 2026 for some slower than others. He's talking about providing a one-time forgivable loan. What? Did y'all catch that? Make sure you're listening and you're deciphering and dissecting when you're listening to these podcasts and what people are telling you. Make sure you're not letting this stuff go over your head and letting these people say anything and not challenging what they're saying. Please challenge me in the comments. You can leave a comment. If I'm off base, tell me that if you think that. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and share the program. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do that. But once again, let me run that back again. He announced today that he would provide one-time forgivable loans. Forgivable loan. Ranging from $2,500 to $25,000 for businesses that claim, not even prove, claim they lost revenue during the enforcement surge. Right? He said he's going to hand out the money through the Minnesota Department of Economic Development as part of the state's 2026 legislative package. Right? Forgivable loans. Right? What does that mean? So it's a loan that you don't have to pay back? How is that a loan? Isn't that just a grant? Right? So this means it's really not a loan. It's really free money, right? He's giving away free money to repair, right? That's what he's doing. Right? For these businesses. Now you said all businesses, but aren't you really talking about businesses, immigrant heavy businesses? Because they ran to you crying and talking about they drop in sales and they tried to tell you they lost $10 to $20 million a week, right? So, right, where are you at, IRS? Right? Are you listening to any of this? IRS, somebody at the IRS for this program. These businesses in these immigrant heavy areas, they said that the loss of sales are between $10 and $20 million per week. Are they claiming that, IRS? IRS, are you doing your job, IRS? One of these folks over there on the east side of St. Paul, a restaurant owner, he said that the relief money could mean the difference between staying open and shutting down. Won't you just be able to make another 10 or 20 million in the next week, right? Don't you get a split of that? Don't you get a piece of that? Right? But see, that's the point of this article. See, I'm cooking here. Go ahead and get your bib ready. Get you some napkins and some silverware so that you can be able to chew this, so that you can break it down. Because listen here, when certain communities take losses, immigrants, the government seems to move fast to repair the damage. They find the money. They create the programs. They roll out assistance. They call it relief. They call it recovery. They call it support. But when it comes to foundational Black Americans, suddenly the money is gone. Suddenly it's too expensive. Suddenly it would bankrupt the country. Suddenly it's too complicated and it's unfair. But it seems like the pattern never changes because other groups experience harm, loss, or hardship, and checks appear, programs appear, grants appear. You know what? Crime bills even appear. Forgivable loans show up and appear. Rebates appear. Emergency funding appears. And you know what happens? Repair happens. And that's what this is. This $10 million proposal, it's repair. The government acknowledging that a group lost money and is stepping in to fix it. That is literally what reparations is, to repair damage. So now the question becomes simple now. If the system can identify harm and issue money to repair that harm for others, why is it then impossible when the conversation turns to cutting the check for foundational Black Americans? Why is there always funding for everything else? When you had the pandemic, stimulus checks showed up fast. Emergency programs showed up fast. Special relief funds showed up fast. But when the topic is the unpaid debt owed to FBA people for generations of forced labor, exclusions, theft of wealth, and systematic damage, suddenly the country is broke. We're tired of hearing the same old talking points every time. We're over it. They'll waste it. They'll spend it wrong. It'll hurt the economy. But But if people spend money, that money goes right back into the economy. That's literally how an economy works. So which is it? Huh? So which is it? Because when other groups need repair, the money is always there. When other communities need help, the system moves fast. When others face losses, the response is immediately. But when FBAs bring up the largest unpaid debt in American history, you deadbeats, suddenly the answer is no. That's why stories like this matters. That's why shows like this matters, because it shows in real time that the issue has never been whether the money exists. The money always exists. It only depends on who it's for. And right now, it's looking as it always looks every time. Everybody gets repaired except the people whose labor built the foundation in the first place. And I ain't going to hold you. I'm just going to mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. Going to leave you with 4 words, as we always do around this time. Subscribe for the vibe, like for the spike, comment your vomit, and share if you care, if you dare to get Black empowerment everywhere. We are on all of the platforms that you know of, right? The main ones anyways. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Come and take a look. You might get hooked, but don't get shook by the fake Keep It P podcasts that are out there. Love, peace, blessings, and maloha. I gotta go ha for show ha. You already know how. Big brother, light bright, supreme almighty, signing off.